payment plan from Sony and Raylo that you rent this console. All right, you know it's actually a little bit cheaper than buying a PlayStation 5, but the person who spent a little bit more money to buy the PlayStation 5 outright, now they own it. Like Kotaku just said, they could sell it. They could do what they want. You don't own that console. If you don't want it anymore, you got to fork it over. Sony wants it back. Now here is where it gets even more insane. The situation obviously gets considerably worse if you rent the PS5 for a shorter period of time. If you were unable to commit beyond a monthly rate, which of course is the case for many with low incomes looking to find cheaper access to this tech, unable to commit to a 12-month contract, let alone a 3-year one, for the equivalent 3 years, you'd have to pay out $1,202.
Hell no. Hell no.
You don't even own. So
that's shit. That's shit. This PlayStation business. Because he said, Rich said in another video, the PS5 price should be down by now. It should. It should be down by like $200. So it should be, even if it's $350. That's still expensive, but $350 ain't as bad as $6 or $650. That price should have been went down. So I remember when PS3 went down to the 300. Yeah, I still can't believe PS5 is over 5. It don't seem like it, but it's over 5 years old. This is crazy.
So if you don't want to be tied into a 3-year contract,
gotta rent a Sony, damn,
and you want to have a PlayStation 5 for maybe the same time period, it'll be almost $1,200. Do you understand how insane that is?
It is.
Do you understand how much of that they're robbing the consumer? They're robbing people
That's
who
disgusting.
can't afford to be robbed, who maybe just want a luxury, and they're just saying, "Oh, you want this luxury? Well, we're going to gouge you." Because who do you think is going to go for these price plans? It's going to be the people that can't afford it, and it's always the ones who can't afford it that get screwed over the most. It's unreal. Just wanted
getting
to
screwed like
here.
Bret Hart. I tell you,
editing this in post. So say you wanted to do this rental plan, but only for a year out of contract, and you wanted to just, okay, maybe I want to end in 6 months, but you end up keeping the console for a year. It would be about $33 a month. Do the math. You're at $396 about. So you're essentially just shy.
$33 a month ain't bad, but if you rented that mess over here, that's gonna be $100 and something a month. I think there's two plans. There's one. It's like $100 by itself. Then when it comes to TV, that's almost $150. So you're paying for the TV and the PlayStation. So you know, damn TV, extra TV. But yeah, that's flat screen, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy.
Of owning the console outright, if you do the out of contract monthly lease for a year or even slightly less, it's insane. It's insane. There's no way. This is extortion. There's no other way to look at it. And let's go back to Freedom Dollars for a second. If you wanted to get the PS5 and do this plan without a contract with an extra controller for that 3-year period,
fuck the controller.
To have an extra controller, again, you can't keep any of this either. At the end of your however long you keep it, it would be about $1,400 a month. To have one extra controller, you would be paying $200 and something more.
Oh no, sir.
For an extra controller,
no,
it's $200 more than $200 more. It's insane. And hey, you want to rent a PS5 Pro with the same terms? Could be up to almost $2,000, $1,840. Here's what happens if you want to cancel early. It gets even worse. Canceling early requires having paid a minimum of 18 months of charges, plus that month and the next. So.
That's how it is down here, over here. You wanna hold on to that Sony forever. That's 18 months. You might be halfway tore up by then.
You've signed up for 2 years but need to cancel after 12 months. You'll need to pay another 8 months worth of charges to get out of the contract. So if something happens that maybe your rent goes up or your mortgage rate changes and it's like, look, man, I got to give up this PS5 that I'm renting. You know, I wanted something for my kids and I couldn't pay up front, but this is too much money. Oh, well, you got to still pay up. Got to give us the other 8 months there. That's part of the contract. Sucks for you. It's amazing that as I'm talking,
That sucks. That does suck.
Like progressive leasing and lease here, or pay an insane amount of interest to pay something in monthly payments that you want to own now here. It's
like I remember the finger hut. Y'all remember that back in the day? And I think it's still around. Yeah, it's still around. That Sony, if you were to buy it from them, it's gonna be about $1,200 because no, it's gonna be 1,000. Well, probably 12, almost 12 because of the warranty payment plan and all that kind of stuff. Let's say it falls over and it drops by accident. You didn't mean to do it, but it hits the floor and then it stops working. Know about that? I think they might replace it if you if you tell them about it fast enough. But still, it's bad enough. It's already $500 and $600. I'm about paying $1,000 for it. Know about that?
My God. Capitalism is absolutely terrible. Now, obviously, renting technology is not a new thing. It's been around for a very long time. But these stories that I'm talking about here, like with HP and Sony, their timing is what makes them alarming. We know that RAM prices are skyrocketing, which in turn will make buying products much more challenging for many people. And on top of it, too, the economy, especially in the States, is really
it's rough
bad,
around here,
and people are really struggling right now.
It's
so
rough.
all of these corporations are like, how could we profit off of this? I know. We could rent out our technology at insanely high prices with ridiculous contracts, and then we don't let them keep the tech, even if they've paid for it for years. So we get to get the tech back, even if it's in crappy condition. I'm sure we could do whatever we need to do for it to make money off the parts. And on top of it, too, we get to make a bunch of money off of people renting our tech that they never get to own. And again, this also ties into everything I've been saying about cloud computing. We know that AI, at least right now, is in a bubble, and it's going to pop. There's not an expert out there that says anything else, but the AI tech bubble is going to pop. But what do you think they're going to do with all these data centers? Recently, Jeff Bezos, like I always talk about, gave it away. He thinks that local computing power is antiquated, and just like our electrical grid, that we're going to have cloud computing do everything for us.
Okay. So I just wanted to hear about this PlayStation business. About having to go to a rental center. Okay, we're gonna rent this Sony. About that, I never forget back in the day. It's early 2000s. Never doing this again. Renting the computer. That was disgusting. Never doing that again. That was. I remember I bought actually got a refurbished laptop from Walmart for $100. Then not too much longer, I had to turn around and sell it. I needed some money, but that was decent. Refurbished for $100. But I don't know about renting the thing for $100 a month. That's just like renting the Sony. That's sickening.